Hi everyone and welcome to today's live Q&A office hours. It's going to be a bit of a mixed bag, I'll be honest. It's going to be live Q&A, of course. I'm going to show you some recently updated tools and features. We're going to discuss some news. And I also wanted to share a keynote that I've just created, and we're going to do kind of a test run. So what I'd like to do while everyone is starting to get situated in the room, let me see if this is going to work. Most importantly, I'm just going to start rolling through this. And as you join, it's great to see some people joining and putting comments in. Lance Allen, howdy. Good to see you. Thanks for joining. Yeah, I'm just going to get straight into it and start rolling. And then I'm going to do a Q&A. And then I've got some cool stuff to show you with regards to, more specifically, some new tools from Spotify and Deezer as well. But you know what? I'm going to, thank you, David. I appreciate it. I'm going to jump straight in and start presenting this, and let's see how it goes. Like I said, parts of this is a bit of a test, but we'll get there. So here we go. I'm just going to move this off to the side. So today I'm going to be presenting mostly focused around artist profiles and tools, and I'll explain more about what that means in a second. But just while people are getting into the room and getting ready, quick background about myself: music lover from a young age, got into DJing first and foremost, was handing out drink coupons at nightclubs, and then got some time behind the decks, did a DJ course, realized I wanted to play gigs outside of my own city, went and did a short crash course in music production, went and started my studies in Bachelor of Audio Production as well. This is the latest project that I have that you can see here. This is Date Night with two of my friends back in Australia. I now live in San Diego, California. Our debut album was actually created completely using Ableton Live and Dropbox. So everything was just recorded and all the stems bounced out while one of us was sleeping, the other one was working on it. And that was actually footage from our debut gig, pre-COVID, I should mention, at a venue called Prohibition in Brisbane. Some quick info about that project. And so with Date Night, just to give you some quick numbers to let you know what we've achieved and why, I'm so happy to be here today and share this with you. To date, we've had over 7 million streams across Spotify, over 17 Spotify editorial placements. We've had over 1.5 million streams on Spotify algorithmic playlists. We've had over 1.6 million streams across third-party playlists as well. And we've been added to over 85,000 third-party playlists. Keep in mind, though, of course, those are any user that has a playlist. It could be their own personal playlist with 1 follower or 0 as well. And on the right-hand side, that's just actually something that we did for ourselves. That was in Times Square. Once again, of course, pre-COVID. We actually took some of our earnings from streaming and decided we wanted to have a billboard in Times Square. So we actually got that at 7 p.m. on a Friday night in the summer. And for independent artists, that was pretty cool to actually do that ourselves. And a little more about me outside of the average producer turned great collaborator DJ side. I realized that I was really good at telling other artists what they should do and helping them to avoid the mistakes that I made when it came to self-releasing. So I was writing detailed emails to artist friends and saying, do this, don't do this, here's why you shouldn't do that. And basically just laying it all out in these really detailed emails. And it got to the point where one of my friends actually said, you should just put this in a book so that it's available to everyone instead of just simply emailing one person and helping them directly. So as a result, I put out a book called Work Hard, Playlist Hard, where I just detailed all of the steps of what I did to sort of help myself with gaining more exposure on playlists, things to avoid, and a lot of things that artists should do that perhaps they've overlooked or they don't know the value or the reason behind it. So today I'm going to be talking to you about artist profiles. So an artist profile, essentially every streaming product has an artist profile where you can find more information about an artist. You can see their discovery, read their bio, connect with them on social media as well. And why it's important to claim an artist profile. So claiming an artist profile shows your audience and curators that you have a presence on that streaming platform, whether it's Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon. We'll be getting to those in a second. It shows that you're paying attention, and essentially you've created a home for fans new and old, that whether they're discovering you for the first time, rediscovering you, or they've been a lifelong fan, you're saying this is a home for my music where you can find me as well. And when people ask me where should they claim their artist profile, very simple. I say everywhere, because there's different streaming services in different parts of the world that are actually bigger than Spotify or Apple. And so I will be sharing a few of those with you today as well. And most importantly, there's no cost in doing this. These are direct with all of the streaming platforms. They will allow you to claim your profile. It will not cost you any money. And they will also provide you with tools that will help you to promote that music on that platform directly. So jumping straight in, the first one I want to mention is Amazon Music for Artists. So this is located at artists.amazon.com. If you don't have access and you distribute through some of the independent distributors, such as CD Baby, DistroKid, and TuneCore, there's actually an option when you first download the app or go to the website that you can log in with those credentials and get almost instant access to all of the artists that you've distributed through them. That can save you a lot of time, because otherwise you'll need to fill out the form. You need to connect all of your socials. You need to add contact details. You need to convince them that you actually are that artist, or you manage or work with that artist, and you should have access to all of their data. So once you get access to Amazon Music for Artists, there's some pretty cool features that are unique to Amazon currently. One of them is they will show you voice requests. So they will actually show you how many times somebody has requested either an artist, a song title, an album, or they've spoken, or perhaps they've sung part of the lyrics to a song. And you'll see how many times those requests have been made. And that, of course, is done by speaking with an Alexa-enabled device, whether it's in somebody's phone, smart speaker, or even their car or TV. There's also a Twitch integration with Amazon Music for Artists. What that means is if you are live streaming on Twitch, even if it's playing games, podcasting, chatting, or doing a live performance, you can actually connect your Twitch channel to your Amazon Music artist profile. And if you go live on Twitch, at the same time, it will also go live within Amazon Music. And they show those live streams on the home screen. And they also show an artist's live stream on the artist profile and send a notification out to everyone in Amazon Music that is following that artist as well. There's also some integrations that are coming at the moment with merch with Amazon Music. So if you were to go to amazonmusic.com/ACDC or amazonmusic.com/Taylor Swift, they're kind of extreme examples, but it gives you an idea of what artists can now do. You can essentially set up a merch store, have it, whether it's drop ship, or you may have it in your house, in your garage, you may have stockpiles, or you may just want Amazon to print and ship it for you directly. You can sell things like pop sockets, t-shirts, also physical CDs and vinyl as well. And there's an integration where you'll be able to sell that directly within your Twitch live streams and from your artist profile as well. And that leads me to the next thing, which is that there will be a way soon where artists can talk directly to their fans and even lend their voice to those requests. So essentially, if you requested a song by your favorite artist, you may actually have that artist talking back to you through that speaker. And one thing I wanted to mention here is Amazon Music is more voice focused. People tend to spend less time looking at the app and more time making requests with their voice from their smart speakers, etc. So one thing that I've seen a lot of artists doing now is when they are posting on socials and they're telling people to follow them, instead of going, make sure you click the link and go and click follow, they're simply saying, make sure you say, Alexa, follow artist name X. And then they've immediately captured you as a follower. And most people are happy to try that, especially if they've just got a new smart speaker. So that is available in an app on Apple and Android devices, and there's a web version at artists.amazon.com. The next one is Spotify for Artists. So most people tend to be pretty familiar with Spotify for Artists. They just made some recent changes. One thing is Spotify is expanding into 85 new markets. Outside of that, another thing that Spotify have just done is they've updated the editorial submission form. So for anyone that's not familiar, if you have a release coming out in the future, you will be able to log into Spotify for Artists. You can now do this in the app on your phone as well. And you will be able to submit that song for editorial playlist consideration. If you submit that song and it's an original song, not a cover, not a remix, and it hasn't been released before, then it is guaranteed to go into release radar for all of your followers, as long as you submit it at least 7 days prior. The other thing you can do with this editorial submission form now is they have multiple new genres that you can choose from. So you may have been familiar with one of 15 genres that you could choose from. And you know, if you make tech house, you would basically have to put dance or something like that. Whereas now they're very specific with the genres, so that it's getting to the point where if you make jack and house instead of tech house or things like that, you'll be able to specify the exact genre tags that you would like with that song. And to give you an idea of the direction that is heading and how specific it is, there's currently over 5,000 different genre tags on Spotify already. And they're starting to add a lot of those into that submission form. And it's gotten to the point now where instead of just seeing a long list, you have to actually start typing keywords to find those genres. In addition to that, there is also, you can tag the songs by mood, by genre, instruments used, whether they're instrumental or what language are the vocals in. All of this information is extremely important, because once it goes into Spotify, that information is attached to it, and it will help it to put that music in front of the right listeners as well. Within Spotify for Artists, you can set what's known as an artist pick. Most people will have seen this at the top of an artist profile. It could be a song or an album, but you can also link that to another artist page, perhaps someone you're collaborating with, or maybe you've started a new project, you want to direct people there. You can also link to a podcast or a podcast episode within Spotify. So if you're a guest on someone's podcast, you can actually, and that podcast is on Spotify, you can make that your artist pick. And you can also make a concert, as long as it is listed in Songkick and you have linked Songkick to your Spotify for Artists profile, you can actually showcase that concert at the top of your artist profile. And as we know right now, a lot of concerts are live streams and they're online, which is great, because you're not just saying, I'll be in LA this Saturday. You're saying, I'll be live in your lounge room, wherever you are in the world, and you can link to that concert. You can also, of course, update your biography. You can also link to artist playlists that you've created. I mentioned that you can connect it with Songkick. Canvas is now available to all Spotify for Artists users. It was in beta until just recently, but now it's available to everyone. Canvas is an 8-second visual loop that you can upload, and it will show on the Spotify app when somebody is listening to your music on their phone. In the bottom left corner, the artwork will have a circle around it. They can tap on that. This may change, but it will show full screen this looping visual while they are listening to your song as well. Spotify is saying that it's shown significant increases in engagement for songs that have a canvas uploaded. So whether that's true or not, it's worth adding that visual to accompany your music. And then you can also use that in an Instagram story as well. and make that a swipe up back to the song. So there's multiple uses for that 8-second loop you've created. The last thing in Spotify for Artists that I wanted to mention is in the menu, if you have multiple artists that you are managing, working with, you have access to their data, you can go to your roster in the menu, and this will show you all of the artists you have access to, when their next release is coming up, so that you can plan out accordingly. And if there are any releases in the future where a submission to the editorial team has not yet been made, you can actually click the button and submit directly from there. So if you're working with multiple projects, it gives you a way to make sure you haven't missed anything that's coming out. Angami. So Angami is based in the Middle East. To give you some numbers, last year in March, actually 2019 in March, I should say, there were 21 million monthly listeners, people with accounts that were on the platform. It has gotten a lot bigger. One thing I've noticed is, particularly here in the US, a lot of people say, my music's not on Angami, I can't see it. And what they don't realize is their music is on Angami in the Middle East, but it's not licensed outside of there. So you can log on to Angami and you're only going to see music that they have a global deal for. The workaround here to see if your music is on Angami is open a private incognito. Now this sounds dodgy, but it's not. Open a private incognito web browser tab, type in your artist name Angami, and it will likely be the first search result. I've done this for multiple artist projects and I've found the links. So you know, and the cool thing is you can see that, you know that your music is on there, you know that even if you can't actually stream it where you are, people can be enjoying it. And once you get access to Angami for Artists, you can see how many people are listening. So when you get into Angami, you can, it's really unique. You can actually upload music directly to them and upload music videos and monetize them. So yes, you can use your distributor who will push that and collect all the money for you. But Angami have actually said, well, if it's completely yours, you can upload it directly as well, and we'll just pay you once a month. Another couple of things about Angami that are unique, they allow you to replace album artwork. So if you have some embarrassing album artwork on an old release, you can actually go and replace that, or you can change it as things change. And you can even replace the audio files to a certain level. So I've seen some artists actually have a track on there and realize that they weren't happy with the final master. They've gone back and just uploaded the audio file. Obviously, you're not going to completely swap out for a different track, but it will give you that opportunity to correct something that maybe wasn't the final master. So that is Angami for Artists. And one more reason why I wanted to mention Angami is that they have an editorial pitching tool that they are launching soon. So getting access to the app now is going to allow you to be one of the first artists to get in there and start pitching directly. And as I mentioned, there's a lot of artists in the US that are not paying attention because they simply believe their music isn't on there. So incognito browser tab, and you'll see that it in fact is. And that goes for many other streaming platforms as well, I should mention. Artists.apple.com is Apple Music for Artists. Recently, they also merged Shazam for Artists into this platform as well. Once again, if you're looking to fast track access to this, most of the independent distributors can help you if you log in with your credentials. The only time I've seen somebody get stuck with that is if someone else on the artist team has already claimed access. You'll probably need to contact them and get them to invite you. But once you're in, you can see all of the usual stream data, playlist plays, and radio spins. Not many people realize, but there's actually some pretty big numbers that come from getting played on radio through Apple Music. You've got Beats One, they've got multiple radio stations they've started now. They've also launched music TV stations within the Apple Music TV app and the Apple TV app, where they play music videos all day as well. So they're really growing in multiple directions now with that, and just beyond music streaming itself. Once you've got access, you can update your artist image. There is a separate link to a video, which I will post in the chat after this, but a lot of people ask me if there's a way to create a playlist in Apple Music as the artist. There is. It's not easy, and it takes a bit of work, and it involves the Apple Music for Artists app, having an Apple Music account, turning on an admin button in settings. But I've got a separate video that I will share after this so that everyone that's interested can grab that. It goes for about 2 minutes. As I mentioned, they have Shazam data as well. So for anyone that's not familiar with a little of the history with Shazam, obviously Apple acquired them. Shazam is an app that will identify music that's playing around you, but Apple have been using this technology before they even acquired Shazam. So without setting off my iPhone here, you would essentially 5 years ago, before the acquisition, you would say to your phone, hey, S, what song is this? And the assistant in your Apple device would return that data from Shazam. And that actually counted as a Shazam without people even having that app downloaded and using it. So Shazam gives you an idea of where around the world your music is being played, and people are asking about it, most importantly. You know, it's kind of like calling in the radio station and asking the DJ what's playing. I mean, nobody does that anymore, but Shazam really took over and helped with that. And it's still, people use it if they hear a song that they forgot about, or they hear a song and they want to remind themselves to add it to their playlist later. So definitely worth paying attention to that Shazam data. One example, I actually found that I was getting a large number of Shazams in Tokyo, and I looked into it, and I actually had a friend there at the time, and he was in the Nike store, and he realized that one of our songs was playing through the speakers. And so he sent me a video and he said, hey man, do you remember that song where I was playing bass for you guys? It's playing right now in the Nike store in Tokyo. And we saw that on Shazam first, and then we were able to backtrack that and find out how we got that placement. And obviously that led to more programming in stores around the world as a result. And so Apple Music for Artists, they have an app for your phone if you have an Apple device, and they have the web app for everyone else at artists.apple.com. Deezer Backstage. So Deezer is one of those ones that I would definitely recommend paying attention to. Every time Spotify is growing, Deezer are growing, and they almost seem to be doing it a little more on the down low, but there's some pretty cool opportunities that they present. And Deezer have their own tool for artists. It's called Deezer Backstage. So backstage.deezer.com. Some things that are unique about Deezer Backstage: they allow you to post a short status update on your artist page and encourage you to update it frequently. It's text only, no links, 64 characters max, but it shows that message at the top of your artist page. I've seen some artists that, to encourage people to visit their profile on Deezer, they might post a coupon or a discount code or a code to get into a live stream or something like that. And obviously, the more people that search and seek them out on Deezer, Deezer get to see that in their back end and see that there's a lot of activity on an artist profile. You can also link your Facebook and Twitter URLs to your Deezer profile to show them. You can add an artist image and biography. They actually separate the data on how many listeners you have, and will show you the difference with how many listeners you have that are on the free ad-supported version versus how many of them are paid subscribers. Now, those of you that dive deep into your royalties and your income, you may notice that paid subscribers, it will pay out slightly higher than those on the free or ad-supported versions. These also have a feature similar to the Spotify artist pick where they allow you to highlight an album, podcast, or playlist at the top of your artist profile. This is relatively new. You can see a screenshot of what that looks like on the right-hand side. What's interesting about this is you can actually have it so that the highlight only shows in certain countries. So if you have an upcoming show in a particular country, you may not want to have that showing for everyone. So there's just some cool opportunities around that. And lastly, you can also include artist playlists on your artist page. There is a way that you're able to do that that's coming into the app shortly. In the meantime, it's just a case of once you're in there, contacting the team and sending them a link to a playlist you've created and to your artist page and saying, can you please connect the two and show this playlist on my artist page? We've got Pandora. So Pandora have their artist marketing platform known as AMP. They also have Next Big Sound, but right now they're actually merging the two into one. So instead of going to Next Big Sound, all of that data, all of that information, it will all show within amp.pandora.com. But some key features with Pandora, they allow you to upload artist voice messages so that maybe before or after one of your songs, you can actually have a message from yourself. And it could be, hey, thanks so much for checking out my song. Make sure you go and check out my latest album as well. Tap the button on your screen to listen now. And you can upload an image that will show on the screen, and you can add a link as well to whatever you would like. In addition to that, you can also do what's known as stories, where you can create a playlist and you can have your own voice messages in between the tracks. So you could have like a album playlist where you break down the process behind each of the tracks, or you share some stories about the process as well. Pandora allow you to feature up to 6 tracks per year. Once again, this is free, of course, but what this does is it will put that track in front of more listeners across Pandora's radio stations. And if the track gets enough thumbs up, it can lead to more editorial placements. Worst case, you just get some extra listeners on the track and you didn't have to do anything other than fill out a short form. And I definitely recommend doing this. I've seen artists where, being realistic, I've seen some artists that maybe get 400 streams as a result, and I've seen some artists get up to 100,000 streams, and it's just kickstarted some crazy stuff on Pandora for them. The most important thing is it's going to take you less than a minute to fill out that form, and there's no review process. It's just bang, you set a start date and a finish date, and you can feature up to 6 tracks per year, 2 months maximum per track. So you can have a featured track rolling all year on Pandora that's getting pushed in front of more listeners, getting you more streams, hopefully helping you to find more of your fans sooner. Then there's artist image and biography. You can upload the artist image in AMP. Biographies for Pandora are actually currently updated by TiVo, the company that do the DVRs that record your TV shows. Rovi and TiVo basically handle those biographies, and they do it for a number of other platforms as well. Another one that can filter into Pandora is allmusic.com. And the last one I wanted to mention before we dive into the Q&A is YouTube Music. So the current title for this is New YouTube Analytics for Artists. The website that you would go to is studio.youtube.com, which if you've had a normal YouTube channel, not even necessarily an official artist channel, you may be familiar. That's where you can see a lot of the detail around your YouTube uploads, how they're tracking and things like that, what the engagement looks like. You will now get access to that with relation to your music and your music videos. But for anyone that doesn't have an official artist channel on YouTube, previously they needed you to have multiple music videos uploaded, and not everyone has music videos, but they have enough tracks. So most distributors now will have a way to fast track that. If you just simply ask them and say, can I get an official artist channel? Here's a YouTube channel I have right now. Can we make this the official artist channel? Once that happens, you'll see you've got the music note next to the artist name that I've got in the image on the right. And that's how you know that the channel you are looking at is an official artist channel. Once that happens, any artwork you upload, the cover art, the profile photo, that will copy from YouTube to YouTube Music as well. So you don't have to update it in 2 different locations. The other benefits are that you can, once you've got an official artist channel, you get a community tab on that channel where you can do posts as the artist. So instead of just uploading a new video, you can also have a message that accompanies that as well. And there's some other cool features that they're rolling out on there so that you can engage with your audience and make it a little more social instead of just posting videos. Excuse me while I just get some water. Okay, let me just jump ahead here. So I'm going to jump into Q&A, and while I'm waiting for some questions to come in, I do have a couple of things I wanted to share. You know, some very recent changes. So I'm just putting my details up there on the screen for anyone that's not familiar with me. My name is Mike Warner. I wrote the book Work Hard, Playlist Hard, and I try and do everything I can to give artists the information they need to help them grow and get to the next level quicker. Dave, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Actually, I could probably turn this off now and just go full screen. Let's try this. Okay, there we go. Wow, I didn't realize I was so close to the camera. Also, I saw just up here before I wanted to mention Fabro. I noticed you said it's 1 a.m. right now for you, so I really appreciate you tuning in. I will in future be doing these at various times because I certainly don't expect anybody to be staying up that late, but I appreciate you being here. Now, what I'm going to do, let me see if this is going to work. I wanted to firstly, yes. Okay, so let me just do this, click around here. Okay, this is Spotify for Artists promo cards. These can be found by going to promocards.buyspotify.com, and I believe I have the website up live so I can show you what this looks like. Okay, yes. This totally gives me flashbacks to playing Super Mario 64 and moving Mario's face around on the title screen. But anyway, I'm getting distracted. Spotify for Artists promo cards. We click Get Started. Now, these are cards that you can create and share on social media. So maybe you're not much of a graphic designer and you would like to announce a new album, a new song, a podcast episode, a podcast on Spotify, or a link to your artist on Spotify. So in this case, I'm going to just use my own artist for the example. And what you see is obviously we found the artist we're looking for, and we're going to click Customize. And you'll see that we've got a couple of different options here. Obviously, we've got different colors, which is cool. We can also choose a milestone. Now, this will show the current milestone for that artist. In this case, milestone is followers. So when you hit a certain threshold or a certain number of followers, this milestone option will automatically update. To give you an idea, milestone cards will show for 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, 25,000, 50,000, 100,000, 500,000, 1 million, 2 million, 5 million, 10 million, 20 million, 25 million, 50 million, and 100 million followers on Spotify. If you have more than 100 million followers on Spotify, you probably don't need one of these cards. Now, what else you can do is you can customize the shape. So obviously on some social media, such as LinkedIn and Facebook, landscape may look better. Whereas if you're posting on Instagram in stories, perhaps, you may opt for portrait. So that is what it looks like to create a promo card with Spotify. And that is what it looks like for an artist. Now I'm just going to go back and show you what it looks like with a different example here. Okay, so this time what I will do is I will make one for a podcast. And I'm just, once again, just to play it safe, I'm using my own as an example here because I've already tested this. So you put in the name of the podcast that is on Spotify, most importantly, and then you can choose the show or you can choose an episode from that show for the artwork. Wow, that was, didn't happen. Yes, so once we go back here, I'm going to choose show. And once again, we can customize and we can choose a different color. And we've got the different sizes. In this case, we also have square as an option for the artwork, which looks cool. So that's just a really nice, simple to use tool that may help you with creating some artwork or celebrating a milestone for your music or your podcast. Another thing that Spotify is slowly rolling out is for the milestones. If you get added to a editorial playlist, it will create artwork celebrating the fact you've been added to that playlist, and you'll be able to share that on social media as well. And then when you click share, it will give you a custom link, and you can also download the artwork, of course, and it will give you the option to share this directly to Twitter and Facebook. Now I'm just going to stop sharing my screen for a second there. And that was promocards.byspotify.com. Now the next tool that I wanted to share is Deezer have recently upgraded their Embeddable Widget player. I'm sure there's a better way of saying that. So let me just show you what this website looks like. Here we are. Bless you. Okay. So this was just updated maybe yesterday, I believe. So it's very new. But Deezer have updated and pimped out their widget that you can put on your website. You can use it in your blog, anywhere that you can embed HTML. And the way it works is first you would put in a Deezer URL. The content that you can use is albums, playlists, tracks, artists, podcasts, and podcast episodes. Then you can customize if you would like it to be dark mode or a lighter color, or you can automatically adjust that to the individual person's web browser settings as well. Very straightforward. You've got the width and height. You can choose to show the track list or simply hide that. In this case, we are using this widget for a playlist. What's cool about this is if somebody goes to your website or your blog or wherever they're looking at this and they're not logged in, it will play a 29-second clip of each track. If they are logged in, they can listen to the track in full and they can heart the track directly within that player without even needing to launch away from your website into Deezer. And you'll see that you can simply grab the code there. It's automatically copied and you can paste that into your site and your blog. So as I mentioned, that is very new. That's just gone live at widget.deezer.com. And then let me find what I wanted to share next. Now, look, this is more for a bit of a laugh at T-Pain's expense, but T-Pain posted this video, so I feel comfortable sharing the video T-Pain posted on TikTok. Essentially, it's good for a laugh, but it's also a reminder that we're not expected to know everything, and we are human. And sometimes there will be things that we're not aware of, and when we find out, there can be some very interesting and hilarious results. But I am going to run this clip on my screen, and this is T-Pain discovering the requests section of direct messages on Instagram. Here we go.
I was today years old when I found out about the requests folder on Instagram that's full of celebs trying to reach me. Dude, is that Fergie? SMH. Oh Lord, I missed Amir. I've been accidentally straight up ignoring all these people for like 2 years. I thought DMs are supposed to just show up in the normal folder, and you don't have to go digging for all these. I apologize to everybody on this list, and the hundreds of others I couldn't fit in this video. These are just the ones I haven't checked and replied to. Yup. I'm stupid.
You definitely are not. You are a very smart person. And I just really enjoyed that video. And, you know, we're not expected to know everything. I mean, I'm always learning myself every day, and I always want to share what I've learned. But yeah, I just thought, you know what? He posted it publicly. It's safe to share. It's and he obviously had a good laugh about it. But yeah, you know, it's one of those things. You know what? If you have an Instagram account, go to messages and look at that towards the top right corner, and you may actually have some people that have tried to reach out to you that you were not aware of. Excellent. So I'm just going to take a quick scan here at the comments. If you have any questions, if you've got anything you would like to say, post it in the comments wherever you're watching. You've probably worked out by the comments I'm putting up on the screen that this is going to multiple platforms right now. And while I'm doing that, I'm just going to put the website up on the screen. So for anyone that is wanting to learn more about what I've discussed so far today, and you know, if you're looking for blog posts or short form podcast episodes or a book that you can read or a course that you would like to do, most of it you can find at workhardplaylisthard.com. There is a free course that's very, 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 very short that will show you the basics of playlists. Essentially, what is a playlist? What can it do for me? What a playlist look like? It's extremely basic, but it's a great start for a lot of people. And it was a lot of questions that I was getting that some people felt uncomfortable to ask, which they shouldn't. And I put that on the course on workhardplaylisthard.com, Introduction to Playlists. Just let me see. David Tatlock. The Spotify promo cards site doesn't seem to work on iPhones. Yeah, look, that's probably true. I mean, when I was showing you it's on the desktop, what I found was if I tapped the link, I think it was if I tapped the link in an Instagram story, it would try and view it in their browser. So I would tap the dots in the top right corner, and I would say open in my web browser on my phone. And it did look better, and I could work with it on there. And just obviously pressing and holding on the finished image, I was able to save that. So I would recommend trying that if you haven't already. Otherwise, you may just need to jump on a computer and create them for now. Yeah, I noticed, Fabro, you mentioned the TikTok video before. I'm wondering, what was the audio like when I did that? Because I'd love to share more short clips like that I find. If it's funny, if we're gonna learn from it. Was the volume okay? Was the audio okay? Did it look okay? I felt kind of awkward just being off to the side, but yeah. And Dave, okay, cool. Wondering if I use desktop. Yeah, I'd say try on the desktop. That would probably be the best option, just to be safe. And Fabro, I appreciate the feedback. Audio was good. Volume was okay. Fantastic. Excellent. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start wrapping this video up right now, live stream, and I'm going to let everyone go and enjoy the rest of their day, the rest of their evening, the rest of their weekend, the rest of their week, depending on where you are in the world right now. Wherever you are, stay safe. Let's keep looking out for each other. Let's keep sharing everything that we learn. Let's keep helping each other. I'm feeling really positive about this year. And let's just keep going. But if anyone would ever like to get in touch with me, I'm relatively easy to find. You can find me on all the socials at Ask Mike Warner. You can go to workhardplaylisthard.com, or you could simply tap on the profile where you're watching this right now and follow me, and I would absolutely love that. I'm going to do more of these. I'm looking to bring some guests on and have some more in-depth conversations, and let's just have some fun with it. That's what we're here for. Anyway, take care. I'm out. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you next time.